Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the panel, let me give you a little foundation about my district, the 1st District of Texas, 17 counties, rural Northeast Texas, and let me provide this foundation of what the impact was of the TCJA back in 2017 and what would happen if it expired, and then I want to ask some questions. Expiration of the TCJA in my district alone, for our businesses there, would put 12,000 plus family-owned farms in Texas 01 in jeopardy because of having their estate tax exemption slashed in half next year. 37,000 plus small businesses in Texas 1 would be hit with a 43% tax rate increase if the 199A small business deduction expires. And the failure to renew certain pro-manufacturing initiatives in the TCJA puts nearly 14,000 jobs in my district at risk. These statistics underscore a larger theme that across several industries, whether it's agriculture, small businesses, or large manufacturers, the TCJA promotes the growth of business in America. Now more than ever, it's important to ensure that Congress continues to put Americans first by providing the tax incentives for American businesses to grow themselves. Restoring the immediate R&D expensing provision in the TCJA is a prime example of putting Texan and American businesses first. As you're aware, up until 2022, the tax code allowed manufacturers to immediately deduct 100% of R&D expenses in the year that they were incurred. At present, the U.S. is just one of 2 countries without this essential innovation incentive. Meanwhile, China offers things like a super deduction for research spending, and it's not the only nation providing more than that attractive R&D incentive. Over 15 other countries now offer deductions surpassing 100% of eligible R&D costs, making the U.S. a less attractive and competitive environment for research and development. Ms. Silver, I want to come to you first. Since you were the National Association of Manufacturers Small Manufacturers Chair, tell me in your expert opinion, what impacts, if any, results from the U.S. having weaker R&D incentives than other countries, especially countries like our adversary, China?
Well, R&D is what our country's built on. I manufacture parts, I machine parts that are built from companies, mainly equipment manufacturers, who are using R&D tax policies, R&D money, R&D support to come up and innovate with new product lines. So this is what our country's built on, is research and development and innovation.
And it's critical to have that immediate 100% expensing in the year that those expenses were taken, so that those businesses will be incentivized to innovate and grow. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Ms. Gallagher, you talked a little bit about the 199A provision. In your experience, what do most small businesses do with the money that they save from reduced tax rates using Section 199A?
Reinvest it back into their businesses by way of either employees, hiring more employees, or buying more equipment, or increasing their infrastructure for future growth.
Yeah, in your written testimony, you talked about how these companies that you work with, they'll reinvest to pay for health insurance a lot of times for their employees, or to buy new facilities, or upgrade their equipment and their computers, things that they need to grow, to innovate, or to expand production, all of which creates new jobs, correct?
Yes.
And that's what we want, is the economy to grow, and we want more opportunities for American working families. Isn't that the point of 199A?
Absolutely.
And if we take that away, then what happens if those businesses no longer pay that lower rate, that 21% rate, but are paying now a 43% rate? This more than 99% of the businesses in America would pay. What happens now for their ability to provide health insurance, or upgrade their equipment, or expand their production, or to create new jobs?
Economic downturn is what happens.
That's exactly what happens. I want to end today by agreeing with Mr. Gomez when he argued that we should consider the impact on working families when we consider the tax policy this year. I absolutely agree. In my district, we have a median yearly income of $61,000. A family receiving this yearly income would see $11,042 tax increase should the Trump tax cuts expire at the end of the year and we do nothing. For a family of 4, this $1,142 is worth about 6 weeks of groceries in my region. It's also enough money to cover about 27 full tanks of gas, even in our big old trucks. And that's based on the average pricing. Those are important things. Groceries and gas are important things to every American and every East Texan that I represent. The Tax Cuts and Jobs Act cannot expire. We must continue those provisions to allow families to thrive and businesses to grow. With that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back.